game being brought to you by the Norristown Area School District. Our camera people tonight, Dave Finlater, Kyle Vereen, Teresa Bechtel, is that correct?
Right.
New camera person. We'd like to see those folks come out and give us a hand. And of course, Tony Koya, not only directing our show tonight, but also assisting with the commentary. Spelling, Alan Raleigh, who is back on the circuit, but I think he just wants to save his voice for Thanksgiving Day.
Well, I am getting ready, and frankly, really, the fan response here has been tremendous for Tony Koya. I felt that it was my duty really to turn my microphone back to him because, hey, that's what the popular
That's what the people wanted.
All right, and here come the Eagles again.
Vox Populum, the voice of the people, or something like that. Frank Cassano, the quick drop over the middle to Evans. Oh!
Incomplete.
And that time, Frank Cassano's rifle arm was a little bit of a detriment. He really tried to throw it in there quickly, and it was over Evans' head. He had no chance at it because of the speed of the ball. Your turn.
I am so honored here. I've been given a microphone back by Jeff Brandon, who's going to take a little break. I think this is the first game we've done together since probably that first fateful year.
Yes, it's been quite some time. Right back up the middle to number 40 is that Van James, who gets about a 5 or 6 yard. 4th down and 4. 11:46 on the clock, and I assume that they're going to punt it.
Yeah. There comes the special team players out there. Frank Cassano, of course, will handle the punting duties. Quite an interesting matchup. Of course, let's remind everybody once again, 1:30 Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
We're going to be showing the tape delay broadcast of the ball game that will be played here at 10 o'clock that morning. First time we've ever done anything like that, and we'll be the only outlet that you can possibly see the game that day since there will be no radio and no live television broadcast of it.
Yes, that's true. As a matter of fact, we think we will be the first people in the area to do something like this. Ball's up, good hang time, takes a little bit of a Norristown bounce, and then comes back.
Down at around, I'd say about the 10 or 11 yard line.
And Alan, let's once again say that you could come here in the morning, the game will be at 10 o'clock, and then after the game, you could go home and re-watch the same game at 1:30 if you'd like.
And of course, all the homecoming festivities, we'll have them all for you right there on our Norristown cable channel. And make sure also in the next few days, you'll be seeing here on our character generator, which is shown when we are not showing programs, all ticket information, because it's very important to get advance tickets for this contest. Good 8,000 to 12,000 people will be here.
Yes.
And the game starts at 10 o'clock. You better be here by 9 to at least even hope to find a parking space within walking distance.
Right. Or get here earlier to help us carry the equipment in.
True, true. You mean the handlers from CBS aren't going to be here again? I was very disappointed. I just want to mention that the CBS chalkboard was supposed to be here in the third quarter, but unfortunately they had some problems with the wiring. We couldn't have it hooked up in time. But we'll try to get that for Thanksgiving morning.
We'll try.
And you have put the request in for very nice weather, I hope.
Definitely. Every time I've been to a Norristown game on Thanksgiving, it's been very nice weather.
You've only done one.
Yes.
You've only come for the first one, I think. Of course, I remember the very first telecast we ever did. We did it at Upper Marions Field, standing on top of the press box a good 60 feet above the field, going, this was stupid.
Right, in the wind and the rain, yes.
That one tossed up there and almost picked off. That was a pass that never should have been thrown. And I'll tell you, Abington offense has just completely collapsed here in the second half. Better yet, it's been non-existent.
Yes, it's almost as if the same team did not come on the field.
I was shocked for the way their game plan coming out here. They executed it so well. They were running the ball at will against Norristown's defense, and I really thought if they came out here and did the same thing, they would ice this game easily. But then they had that costly turnover, that fumble on the fourth play of the second half, and from there it's been all the Eagles' game. 3rd and 10.
He's back to throw again. The ball is up. Oh!
And he had his man open there. That was number 10, the slapback, Tom Washington, and Griffin just simply overthrew him.
Yeah, although once again, if in fact Griffin's going to make a mistake in underthrowing or overthrowing, that's certainly the mistake to make, overthrowing the receiver.
That's true. Good
voice of wisdom. Tony Koya,
former quarterback.
Right.
Maybe he's telling us because of his experience of not overthrowing or underthrowing the ball and perhaps getting intercepted too often.
No, I think Tony completed just about 100% of all his passes.
But how many did he?
Threw one, I believe. Yeah.
One.
And the ball is up. It's got some very good hang time. Picked up by number 81 for Norristown.
Bobby Carson.
Bobby Carson doesn't get anywhere with it.
I think now I wouldn't be surprised if Norristown tried to take some time off the clock, hand the ball up the middle. Jacques Rochette, who we've seen throughout the season, very effective in those situations where Norristown wants to grind some time off.
Yes. If in fact Norristown can put 4 plays on the ground and grind out a first down, eat up about 3.5 minutes of this clock, and then maybe do it again, they'll be in a very good position to walk away from here with a W.
Of course, they could get a field goal here. They go up by, what, 21-13? And you need a touchdown and a 2-pointer just to tie it if you're Abington. Van James trying to get outside. Good pursuit by the Abington defense that time. That's a problem we've seen throughout the season. James is quick, but he doesn't have that explosive speed really to turn the corner too often.
Yes, he just about made it back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard one way or the other. Yeah, and I fully expect to see them keep the ball on the ground for this and just keep that clock ticking away, because right now the clock is Abington's greatest enemy, and at this point in time, Norristown's biggest friend.
Well, you know, Jeff Brandon is not here to say this, but that would be another cliche taken right from my quote book, which
I
is
was
on
reading
sale,
that
by the
over
way.
the weekend.
Yes. Probably with the fan mail.
Yes.
Oh, a little
double reverse. And
we
I
have
see
a
a flag on the play, though.
Boy, that could be holding when you see it thrown at that position and at that time. But a little tomfoolery that time that caught Abington off guard. And Billy
Yes.
Evans, of course, very shifty and very quick.
Yes. Let's see. Here's the
That's it.
Norristown.
Holding against the Eagles.
And that's a shame, because instead of the ball winding up on about on the Ghosts' 42-yard line, let's say, it's going to be pushed all the way back to
Norristown's 45?
Norristown's 40. Yeah, actually worse than that. 15. Norristown's 35.
They're calling this a 15-yarder. It can
Right.
go either way.
Okay.
Well, that's surprising. Now Norristown's going to be faced with a 2nd and 24 situation, and now you know they're going to have to go back up in the air.
Yes, he's going to have to put the ball up in the air, and that's going to be because you can never tell what happen when that ball gets up in the air. If in fact Abington picks something off and happens to get in for the score, they'll have plenty of time. The tables will turn completely during this contest.
Well, the back's in the I formation. Jacques Rochette, the up man. Frank Casano fakes the handoff, decides to take up off the middle himself. That was not by design. He was originally dropping back for the pass.
He was hit by
no protection.
Yeah, he was also kind of bumped by one of his own backs. I have a feeling we had a little bit of a miscue in the backfield at that point in time. And I think he did the right thing. He realized that things were not going to succeed in this play. I'll just take the ball and see what I get.
He still managed to pick up about 3 yards, but still 3rd and 21 now. Sano pitches to Van James. Kind of surprising here. They're obviously trying to catch the Abington defense keying on the pass.
Yes, I agree with you.
Didn't work. That's the problem.
No, but right now we're looking at a last down and 17.
Yeah, that's about it. And 7:29 left in the ball game. Let's see, they're going to call it 4th and... Well, they've got 29 up there. I don't think he lost yardage. That must be a mistake. Yeah, 4th and 19. That's what it really is. Frank Asano will be dropping back to punt. Be nice if he can get off a nice, good high one with plenty of hang time.
A lot of hang time and have a lot of your guys to help the Ghosts receive the ball. Not a lot of hang time, but I see it's taking an eagle bounce down to about the 20, 15-yard line, maybe 14-yard line. Well, I guess this is going to be Abington's last shot at this ball game. They're going to have to make something happen right now, or they're going to go home, and it's going to be a very quiet, very long bus ride for them.
That's the truth. I bet in the second half here they haven't run 10 plays on offense at
No,
all.
no.
And yet, as we said, in case you missed the first half, it was totally dominated by Abington. They literally took the ball, did whatever they wanted to, and just ran right up the gut of the Eagles' defense, and were quite successful at it.
Mm-hmm. Well, here they come. Let's see what they're going to do.
6.5 minutes to go here. 1st and 10. Ball marked on the 15-yard line. Abington deep in their own territory. Going back to pass.
Oh!
And Griffin overthrows his man that time. And that's surprising. You're only down by 5 points. I would think that they'd like to reestablish that ground game, which was so successful.
I agree with you, especially because they do not appear to be a real strong throwing team. historically for this season, they've made all their yardage on the ground, or the vast majority of their yardage on the ground. I don't know. Well, let's see what happens. It's now 2nd and 10. The ball's on their 15, 16-yard line.
Well, if they pursue a passing attack, they're playing into Norristown's strength, which is a good rush on the quarterback and also an excellent defensive secondary.
Mm-hmm. I have a feeling they're going to start running. No.
Drops back again, rolls out, gets pressured, eludes a couple of tacklers, takes off now, and he picks up about 8 yards. He's close to the first down marker.
Yes, yes. I didn't see anyone open downfield either. The Norristown secondary appeared to have things pretty well boxed up down there.
And they were all running very, very short routes. No one went more than 10 yards off the ball.
Right, right. I don't know. My initial reaction at this point in time would be to attempt to get back to that ground game and attempt to get some of that first half momentum that they had. Like you said before, they really owned the field during the first half.
And plus, if you do, here you have a 3rd and 3 situation. If you sustain that good running attack, you're probably going to run the clock down in the game. You're either going to get the touchdown and win it, or you're not going to do anything at all.
Mm-hmm.
They give it right up the middle, and here's Freeman, I believe.
Yes,
plenty
it is
of running
Freeman.
room up to the 40.
Yes, first down, Abington.
And that was a pickup of about 16 yards that time.
And it was Freeman doing a little bit of high stepping around there. He had a lot of traffic around him.
Now, Bill Freeman was a guy who must have had a good 60, 70 yards in the first half alone. And I think this is his 2nd carry only here in the second half.
Yes. I can't remember a ball game that has been quite such a turnaround from first half to the second half. All right, 1st and 10. Ball's on the Ghosts' 40.
Right to Freeman again. Picks up about 3. I mean, it's been obvious all evening that the Abington offensive line, especially the right side with, who was it, Dallin Mitchell, who's 6'4" in the 240 range, and Brian Beebe, who's 6'2" and about 220.
Mm-hmm.
They've been dominating that side of the line, and they've been very successful when they've run that way.
Yes.
Thank you for agreeing.
Yes,
I was waiting for the rest of the statement to pick me up. I thought I left Brandon out of here. No.
Last man through in the eye, and they've got close to, if not the first down. Maybe a little bit shy.
And I think that might have been Freeman once again. It's hard to tell from this point in the press box who was carrying the ball. We'll check on for you.
43.
Oh, 43. That's Larry Waugh carrying the ball that time for the Ghosts. He's been alternating, bringing plays in from the sideline.
Looks like we're dealing with a 3rd and a yard situation. They're going to have to keep the ball on the ground and grind this out. There's 4:56 left in the clock, which is plenty of time. First man through, and he's got the first down.
Easy. Piece of cake for Bill Freeman. Bill Freeman, a senior running back for Abington, 6 foot, 195 pounds, a big guy.
Fullback and a linebacker. He plays both ways.
Norristown marching band trying to get the crowd pumped up here once again. They've gone relatively quiet here all of a sudden since Abington started their drive. 4.5 minutes to go. Both teams with all their timeouts remaining.
Abington's got to make this work. Is that Freeman again? He's hit right at the line of scrimmage and still manages to get maybe 3.5 yards out of it, carrying people with him.
That's right, the forward momentum. He's so big, he can literally carry a couple of players. Very similar to Jacques Rochette for Norristown. Same type of runner, although Jacques not quite as big physically, but they both have that churning stride where they're able to, guys are on your back and they're still going to drag you and pick up that additional yardage.
Yeah, until that linebackers come up and really hammer you.
You know, they picked up 4 yards, so we're at 2nd and 6, and they go right up the middle again. Simple little dive plays up the middle.
And once again, another 3 or 4 yards.
You might want to call it like 3rd and 8 perhaps here, depending on where the marking. Jacques Rochette coming back in at linebacker now for the Eagles.
They're establishing that ground game that we talked about. They picked the ball up on about their own 13-yard line, and right now we sit at a 3rd downs and 4 situation with the ball on Norristown's 42.
And there you see the Eagles defense out there. And there comes Mike Jones, the center for Abington, coming up on the ball quickly. 3:17 left to go. 3rd and 3. Right up the middle, and this is going to be close.
Yes, it is.
Depending on where they mark it.
Yes, it is. I see one of the coaches, well, we have a timeout because I think they're going to bring the chains onto the field. It's going to be interesting because I think they're going to go for it no matter what happens. With the 3:03 left on the clock.
Undoubtedly, they have to take the chance. And that was a 3rd and 3 carry. They gave it to Chris Roberts, a man who usually has been going outside for them this evening. And here come the markers. And so often it is just a game of inches, depending on where the referee spots
The ball.
the forward progress, and of course the ball.
I think they're going to be a little short. Yes, no. Oh, it's close.
Literally 2 inches maybe at the
right,
most.
we see him signaling. Okay, and obviously at this point in time, Abington's going to have to go for it. My bet would be on Bill Freeman, who has the ability to drag people with you.
If they don't give it to Bill Freeman, this is a joke. They deserve to lose the game. Freeman is the 3rd man out through the that option offense there. 3rd man, he's got his blocking, he's got the holes developed, and with his size and his speed, he should easily get it.
Of course, Norristown probably also thinks that. Let's see what happens. Quarterback sneak was that?
Yes, it
Looks
was.
like they got
Griffin,
the first
he
down,
picks it
though.
up. That surprisingly surprises me because earlier in the contest, down deep in Norristown territory, Abington had the opportunity. They never tried that play.
And I guess with the go ahead. I'm sorry, Alan.
No, that's something you'd expect Norristown to do. They do it quite often with Frank Asano, who has excellent speed. But that time, Griffin just simply took the ball and dived over the middle.
Yeah, and Griffin, but I was going to say their center, Mike Jones, I was looking for how big he is because generally people, if you have a fairly big center and he pushes out, you can get 6 inches almost by jumping on top of him. And here goes, oh, is there a loose ball? Is that Freeman?
No, that's Freeman, and he held on to it, but he got a good chunk of territory that time.
All right. 2:28 left on the clock. Looks like they're moving the chains. It's another Abington 1st and 10.
This is the Abington squad you saw in the beginning part of this ball
If
game.
Abington can keep this going, this is going to be a barn burner down to the last minute of the ball game.
As we said, they've already chewed up 4 minutes off the clock. 2:28 left to go. There's a timeout on the field as Norristown coaches coming out, tending to an injured player. And whether they go in to score or not here, they're going to literally wind out the clock.
Cheerleaders.
There you go, the Norristown cheerleaders down there. Jeff Brandon probably down there right this moment, getting their names, addresses, and phone numbers.
Yes, I think when we refer to getting the lineup for the team, he generally goes there first.
Yes, I think that's exactly it.
But we see the cheerleaders, by the way, have been out, I think, at more events this year than I have ever seen happen. They're cheering for the wrestling team. They're out there for every other activity that seems to be going on. They have an awful lot of presence in the community and in the school. And the cheerleaders coach, Mrs. Rubin, high school mathematics teacher, has been out there. They've been on Dancing on Air this week. And for those of you who are listening, there are ballads. If, in fact, you watch that show in the afternoon, you can vote for your favorite high school cheerleading squad, and we hope that it might be the Norristown Eagles high school cheerleading squad that you vote for. Ballads are available at the high school, and I guess you just send them right in to Dancing on Air.
Well, I've sent my 300 or 400 in already, and no problem. I was happy to do it. But you're right, though. I know the cheerleaders were out here, and in the last home game prior to this one against William Tennant, when it had to be about 35 degrees, we were freezing in the press box, and they were down there, and I know it must have been cold. And that really shows you something, a little school spirit there.
Yes, yes.
They certainly don't get paid for this job, unlike us.
Right. And you know what else I'd like to see, too? An awful lot of the faculty is out here. Matter of fact, there was even a little news article last week. One of our science teachers, Mr. Winkle, made an announcement of his homework assignment over the loudspeaker in the field here. But there's an awful lot of faculty out here cheering these kids on to play, and that's really what a high school is all about. It's a community affair.
That's it exactly, and if the faculty aren't coming out and participating, and how can you expect the students to even think of coming out to the field when they have jobs, etc., and things to do too? But it's good. It has to stop from the top down. George Ertlip and Barry Spencer, of course, the principal of Norristown, we said earlier, has been to every ball game I remember this season. He's always at the hoop contests, and that's really good to see. Highly
visible people. See Barry Spencer talking to people all the time down there.
He's giving autographs.
Right. Cheering the kids on. And we see...
that is Dwayne Sanders, I believe, being helped off the field. We'll try to check on that number for you. Let's see, that could be number 46, Gene Hill. We will try to get confirmation on who that player is as soon as we can. That is number 46, Gene Hill.
Here come the Abington Ghosts again.
Well, it's 1st and 10, 2:15 left to go. Give up the middle to Freeman once again, and a pickup of about 1 or 2 yards at the most.
All right. Now, this is where yardage gets a lot tougher to get. When you start getting close to that goal line, the defenders obviously don't have as much room back of them to cover, so they can afford to make the mistakes getting up a little further.
Well, I think Norristown is definitely keying everything to the run. They're pinching the line right now. If Abington throws here, I'll be very surprised.
Of course, that might be a very opportune time to throw. Let's see what happens.
After the game they've played, nothing would surprise me. Chris Roberts trying to get outside, and what a tackle by one of the Norristown defensive backs. We'll try to catch that number there for you as soon as possible. Excellent defensive hit that time. Brookbug, number 8, coming up there from his cornerback position and really nailed Chris Roberts, who was trying to turn the corner.
All right, we're in a 3rd and about 6 situation. Abington is going to have to, once I see some coaches coming onto the field, I don't think anyone is down. Maybe there's just a timeout on the field.
That's it, Abington taking the timeout. And a big one, too, because it's 3rd and 8. And now they're dealing with a little pressure.
Mm-hmm.
They essentially have 2 downs to pick up 8 yards because you know they're going to go for it for a 4th. On a 4th down situation, because a field goal with 1:27 left in the contest when you're trailing by 5 is meaningless.
Yes, I'm sure they're going to have to go for it all the way.
Well, Jeff Brandon has rejoined us here. Very
well. You were just doing such a stellar job, and Tony Koyev, of course, he is the people's choice, so we didn't want to take the microphone away from him. And I was just proud and honored to be able to listen to you guys as you shove that microphone up my face. I'd be proud and honored to listen to you two fellas call this 4th quarter.
Well, not just that, but Tony Koyev, besides being the people's choice, he is also in charge of all this equipment. Therefore, he can do with the microphones whatever he wants, whenever he wants. I just wanted to point that fact out.
I won't say a word about the 2 large people he had forcibly take that microphone away from me. That was fine. It didn't bother me.
Oh, we have a loose ball down there. It looks like there's a big pile of people. Let's see who gets up last.
Miscue on the snap that time. It looked like Griffin that time. Jeff just tried to pull away a little too quickly.
Yeah, and the ball went right. It must have been 4 or 5 feet up in the air.
Yeah, Abington very lucky to regain control, but however, we've got a 4th down and 9 to go for the Ghosts. This is do or die with 1:27 left to go. They've got to get into the end zone. Of course, it's do or die for Norristown. It's the last play of the game.
Exactly.
In all effect for Abington.
Now, what do you do here? Your running game has been very successful, but now you're faced with a 9-yard situation. You have to pick up that much yardage. Abington's called a timeout. They're not a very good throwing team. What do you say?
I'd go to Bill Freeman. My bet is I just attempt to see if we can shake him loose.
I'd go to Chris Roberts, pitch out to the left side, the long side of the field.
I agree with him, only because Freeman, very effective runner, but not quite as shifty and elusive, and plus Roberts has shown us on a pitch, if he gets the running room, he can definitely pick up enough yardage. He's fast enough. With Freeman, I'm wondering about if he tries to go up the middle or in some type of trap play, maybe there won't be that 9 yards of holes available.
Or how about the ever-present screen pass?
Screen pass, what do you say?
Sorry, I didn't hear a word.
Screen pass, what do you say?
Possibly. If they don't go to the pitch to Roberts, I'd have to say the screen pass is their best bet.
And you have a long side of the field coming down on your left, so in fact, it might be a very good idea to set that screen up to the left. We'll see what happens, though. I still, go ahead.
Not to interrupt you here, but I'm going to anyway. That's another point I overlooked. Also on a pitch to Roberts, he has that great amount of running room because the ball is marked right now on the right hash line.
Mm-hmm. Well, let's see. Once again, we're kind of looking at this from a different vantage point, obviously, than the coach of the Ghosts. He has a better feel, I'm sure, for his players and for how they're feeling right now. You might have some rather tired young men down there. They're coming out. The referee's sending them back, I believe. You know, this is tough for momentum because what happens is you get all psyched up, you come out, you want to go, and then suddenly the referee says, no, go back, or the head linesman will say, go back in. And you go back and stand there for another 15 seconds, and you think about all the mistakes you can possibly make.
He's speaking from experience once again.
I can tell those are words of experience just from the tone of voice that Tony's using.
Generally, at this point in the game, you think if in fact you make any of those terrible mistakes that are coming into your mind, you try and find car fare home because you don't want to ride in the team bus home. I always used to keep my car fare right in my jersey. Yeah, I was the only player with a pocket in my jersey.
He wrote the plays on 3x5 cards.
Yeah, yeah.
Tell you what, folks, though, if Norristown does hold on to win this ball game, it's got to be quite an accomplishment for them, scoring all of their 18 points in the third quarter, and just a fabulous third quarter after looking absolutely terrible in the first half. And the defense, conversely, shutting down Abington. No points on the board here in the second half, if of course they stop them right now.
Yes. Now, once again, we've had this delay. There's still 1:22 left on the clock, and let's see which of the three options we've given them they come out and do.
4th and 9. Crowd getting pumped up here.
Come on.
And they pitch it out. Some running room for Roberts, and he is taken down by Luther Harling. He may be short here. We'll have to wait for the marking.
It's going to be close.
And he is short. Norristown defense has done their job.
And look, there's a lot of happy Eagles down on that field right now.
Let's see, that was 43, Larry Wall that time they went to. But essentially, we had the wrong player. We had said Chris Roberts, but Larry Wall took the pitch, took advantage of all that field and that territory on the left side, but he unfortunately didn't get it if you're an Abington fan.
Mm-hmm.
Just a question, who called the play? I don't know, which one of us was? I think I'm the one who said that Chris Roberts around the left side on the pitch.
One of the cheerleaders behind us had
I
called
think
up.
it was Sherry Sandler.
Sherry
behind you.
Sandler had said that play, yes.
I said that. Who is this? Did you let somebody into here?
Oh, we're trying to take... Minute 14, all Norristown has to do is run off this minute 14 on the clock, and they win it.
What about the timeout situation? I don't think Abington has any timeouts left. If they do, they have one maximum.
Yeah.
Norristown's just got to snap the ball 3 times and the game's over.
And don't drop anything.
Why is he running? Well.
Well, I don't know. The clock is stopped at 1:10.
Perhaps because Norristown figured Abington's looking for him just to sit on the ball. But it got him a little yardage, brought him another first down, which means they have another 4 plays to waste time on that clock. Minute 4 and counting.
Well, that was certainly a surprise to me.
Yes, I agree with you.
It was obviously a surprise to Abington, too.
Of course, you know, you sometimes do have a situation where if all you're saying is take the ball and lay down, you sometimes can get people hurt in that situation.
Let's see, 49 seconds and counting now.
Quarterback sneak, he's up.
Takes it again.
Once again, he's got a yard or two. He doesn't particularly need it. But
I don't understand this. I say just sit on the ball. It's obvious Abington has, they have no recourse. They don't have any timeouts. What can they possibly do here?
Mm-hmm. And that clock is grinding down, 29 seconds, 28. They may just, if in fact they get one more play off, I'll be surprised, but maybe they'll come out.
A bitter
snap
loss
the ball.
for Abington after last week's loss to in the Chamonix, costing them a shot at the league title. This costing them a shot at second place in the conference.
I see there's, what do we have? A penalty, maybe a delay of game?
Delay of game on Norristown.
Well,
it'll cost them 5 yards, but it also ate up 30 seconds.
Yeah, and then after this will definitely be the last play of the game. At this point in time, a delay of game penalty is not the worst thing to have called on you. And once again, we'd like to remind you that Thanksgiving Day game will be delayed and rebroadcast at 1:30 in the afternoon on the Norristown Area School District School Access Channel. For those of you with cable-ready TV sets, that's going to be Channel 17. And for those of you with the selector box, that's going to be the 4th position center button.
You have
4th button center position.
My God, is he just a veritable plethora of technical knowledge? He's unbelievable, isn't he?
Oh, he read it just like you wrote it.
That was great. I mean, you'd think he worked in the business.
All right, 11 seconds left on the clock. Norristown's just recovering from that penalty, so I'm sure that what we're going to see is the ball's going to be snapped and nothing much is going to happen. The game will end, and Norristown will have really turned this ball game around. To say they've turned it around 180 degrees would really be an understatement.
And of course, it all happened in the third quarter.
That's right. I think it gives them a big plus going into their game against Upper Merion. They finished their season 8-3 overall, I believe it is. 5-2 in the league. A good season.
And there we go.
At That's it.
That's going to be it. You're going to be able to chalk up an
6, 5, 4, 3, 2. You can hear the crowd counting down right now, and you can see that pandemonium breaking loose in the Norristown side. An awfully good game for Norristown.
And gentlemen, using that term very loosely, recapping the scoring, of course, Ron Minges started things with a 31-yard field goal in the third quarter after Charles Griffin fumbled the ball on an attempted pitch out. That gave Norristown their first break. They capitalized on Minges' field goal. From there on in, it was all Eagles.
Yes.
As we also take a look at scoring, of course, coming into the halftime, it was Abington 13-0. Minges, of course, getting the field goal. That made it 13-3. There you see the celebration out on the field. Frank Asano, another great night at quarterback, leading the Eagles down the field for their other scores.
And I'll tell you, it really was an impressive third quarter, as you said, Alan. And, you know, they finished their league season. They don't have the league championship this year, but it was a good season. The two games they lost to both Pennsbury and Neshaminy, two teams that are fighting for the league championship tonight. Those games were so close. Norristown very easily could have been the league champions this year. And, you know, we've had a lot of fun. Norristown hasn't lost here at Roosevelt Field.
Undefeated again, yes. And, of course, assuming that there is going to be a winner and not a tie in the big Pennsbury Neshaminy class, the loser of that contest will be tied with Norristown for second place in the Suburban 1 League Conference. The winner of that Pennsbury Neshaminy battle, of course, will be the champions. Abington coming in third place, if you may. I know a lot of people just call it fourth when there's a tie for second, but they finish as the third team according to wins and losses. But a very good season. So Norristown's had 3 goals when they came into this season. You beat Bishop Kenrick, you beat Upper Marion, and you try to win the conference championship. They came close on one of them. They killed Kenrick. Now it's the biggie against Upper Marion. Fine, you're not going to win the conference championship, but still, if you can beat Upper Marion, hey, the players are happy.
You're only as good as your last ball game, and I think that the Upper Marion contest will really be the acid test for this ball club. They really want to go into that ball game. That's the game they wait for all season long. You've got 10,000 screaming people here at Roosevelt Field. It's homecoming day, of course, for Norristown. They'll have the homecoming court, the floats, all those festivities will bring you all of that action. It should be a fantastic day on Thanksgiving.
And of course, not a lot of players here, just juniors and just turned seniors, but many of them were also on last year's squad. And I know I was talking to the quarterback of last year's squad earlier during our halftime show, Matt Weber, who remembers last year's disaster at Upper Marion very well, where in the rain, the Vikings winning it on a last-second field goal. And believe you me that a lot of these players here want revenge after that loss, a very bitter one.
And these games are always so close. They always get down. I don't know how these games can continually go down to the last minute to be decided. It just happens year after year.
We've seen some miraculous ones. 5 of the last 6 games, I believe, have been decided by less than a touchdown. 3 of them have been decided in the last minute of play. So it's always an entertaining battle, whether it's a closely fought one or a wipeout victory for either side. Like you said, when you have 10, 12,000 people here and the homecoming festivities, you add that all together, you have a great, exciting ball game. And of course, you'll be able to watch it if you can't make it down here, or if you can and you want to see what you missed when you're talking to friends. 1:30, Thanksgiving afternoon, right there on your cable channel for the Norristown Area School District. Of course, they brought you all the games. We bring you basketball games, but this is the first time anyone in this area has ever brought you a game on a tape delay basis that afternoon.
Okay, we want to, of course, thank the Norristown Area School District for bringing you this ball game. We want to thank our camera people, Dave Findlater, Kyle Vereen, Teresa Bechtel, of course, Tony Koya for directing the program tonight, and of course for his miraculous commentary, which he aided Alan Raleigh and myself here tonight. We want to thank him, of course, for that.
I just want to say that I could not have made it through this night, and I'm not what I am without his help.
Well, Tony Koya, he's the people's choice. He's made us what we are today, whether that's good or bad. We want to thank Tony for all his help. Once again, folks, we remind you there's great programming here on your Norristown High cable channel, not only football and basketball coming up in the winter months, but great educational shows as well. For Tony Koya, Alan Raleigh, I'm Jeff Brandon. Thank you for being with us. We'll see you on Thanksgiving Day.
Out of here, home run.